So joining me now to dive into this a little bit is Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland. He's on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. Senator Van Hollen, welcome back to Meet the Press. I'll be honest, looks like you guys have had an all-nighter.
Chuck, we've been here all night and we're still going on the Inflation Reduction Act.
Right.
Republicans are offering amendment after amendment to try to sabotage the bill, but I'm confident we'll get it over the finish line.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions about the bill. The biggest thing that happened was right before the bill went to a vote, and that was the parliamentarians' decision on the prescription drug benefit. Here's the bottom line. The good news for Medicare patients is that this bill should lower prescription drug costs if you're on Medicare. But now that there is no longer a part of this bill that will effectively protect those not on Medicare, should folks who aren't on Medicare expect to see the prescription drug companies decide, well, we can't make money over here, so we're going to raise prices over there? It certainly seems like that's more likely to happen than not.
Well, Chuck, first of all, as you said, the centerpiece of this bill was finally giving Medicare the power to negotiate drug prices, and that will reduce drug prices for seniors, in addition to the fact that we have a cap of $2,000 in out-of-pocket costs. Look, I wish we'd gotten this other provision in. If we had 10 Republicans, we could get it done. We're going to have to come back to that, and we will be watching the pharmaceutical industry like a hawk. And hopefully, if they made that kind of move, we would have enough votes to respond. But I just want to stress the fact that since I've been here in the Congress, including my time in the House, we've been trying to get Medicare the power to negotiate drug prices. It looks like we're finally there.
But getting them there, it doesn't impact for the rest. What can be done? I mean, do you think you're going to have to pass a law to do this? Or are you just hoping the pharmaceutical industry, out of the goodness of their heart, doesn't raise prices for the rest of us?
Well, let me first say we may have a vote later this morning on a $30 monthly cap on insulin. And so Republicans will have a chance to join us in that. According to the parliamentarian, we're going to need their votes to get that done. So that will be some test. But look, we're going to keep at this. We want to make sure that we lower drug prices for every American, and it is an important start to get this in place for the Medicare program and tens of millions of seniors around the country, including 1 million in Maryland who get Medicare.
Look, I invited you on because I wanted to talk some of what happened in Taiwan and what's happening right now to Taiwan. Let me just state this. Speaker Pelosi's trip, again, the Chinese chose to be outraged. This is on them, not on her. But was her trip worth it, given all the fallout?
I think it was, Chuck, because we need to be very clear that China doesn't get to dictate which U.S. officials go to Taiwan and when they go to Taiwan. As you know, we send congressional delegations frequently. A former Speaker of the House has been to Taiwan in the past. And what President Xi decided to do was manufacture a crisis over Pelosi's visit. He's got, as you know, this fall, the Communist Party Congress is coming up. He's seeking an unprecedented third term as leader of China. And this is saber rattling and, chest thumping by President Xi.
Look, it does look like that's what it is. And so I understand in the moment we're trying to de-escalate. But what do you want to see the United States, what do you want to see the Biden administration do in the next, say, 3 to 6 months to reassure the Vietnams, the Japans, the Philippines, who are nervous about what China's doing here? They're nervous about if we're going to have Taiwan's back. Do we have to send a message again that we're going to have their back?
Well, I think we've been very clear, and the Biden administration has been clear, that we are adhering to U.S. policy, which is that we recognize our one China policy, but we've also been firm and straight from the very start that we will oppose any effort to reunify Taiwan by force, by violence. And we've reassured our Japanese partners and others of that. In fact, Chuck, I think this Chinese action of putting missiles into Japan's economic zone, exclusive economic zone, is going to backfire. I think it's going to cause Japan to increase its defense spending and seek even closer military engagement and cooperation with the United States, which is already good. So I think this is going to backfire on China. Yes, we have to de-escalate. We also have to be firm in making our policy clear.
You think it's inevitable that China's going to make a run at Taiwan in the next 5 years?
I don't think it's inevitable. We need to help Taiwan make that as difficult as possible for China. And we've been doing that by supplying Taiwan with military assistance. We need to continue to do that to make Taiwan into the Porcupine, so that when China looks at Taiwan, it realizes that this is going to be a hell of a fight and not a winnable fight. And I do think when they look to what Putin tried to do in Ukraine, they will see how a determined people can thwart someone like a dictator like Putin, who of course thought he was going to walk into Kyiv in a matter of weeks, and that was not possible.
Look, for a long time, no U.S. official wanted to describe our relationship with China in strictly adversarial terms. But how do we not look at the cutting off of military ties, climate ties, immigration ties, all these things, and not say we're in a Cold War with China?
Well, I don't think we're in a Cold War with China yet. A lot of that depends on what China does next. And there's no doubt that President Xi has escalated China's actions against Taiwan even before the Pelosi visit, and has been more aggressive throughout the region. At the same time, we have been trying to cooperate with them on these other measures, as you say. I believe they'll be back at the table on those measures. Right. It is important that we have that military-to-military dialogue, but it is important that we also confront and check China, where it's trying to export its model of authoritarianism around the world, in Africa, the Middle East, and other places.
Senator Chris Van Hollen, it's been a long night. You were very flexible for us, I know, with back and forth. You've got to get back to voting. I appreciate you spending a few minutes with us and our viewers here to get the latest on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.